Good morning. This is MJ from Lioness Publications. And today we're going to be looking at what I'm looking at probably being the final hurrah for Trump. Over the next month, 2 months, what we're going to be seeing is things are going to be coming to some type of climax. We're going to be talking about that. Pretty much after that, there's not that many new angles occurring. So everything is sort of happening right around this time, right up to around mid-July, end of July. There are a few things later in the year. So we'll talk about what I perceive is sort of the timeline of happening. And I do want to note that if you go back to my previous mid-April video on Trump, everything I said there is pretty much coming to pass. We've got the issues with the tariffs. We've got the fact that he's trying to go after people. We've got the fact he's going up against the legal system, the immigration. So he's just really going far beyond what typically would be presidential powers. So let's start off with first thing that's going to be happening is, and it's happening in a day or two, it's happening right around 4:25. We're going to have the wounded warrior actually making a connection to his Saturn. And what that means is that he's going to feel hemmed in and blocked. And that's already happening. You can see that he had to back down on the tariffs for China. That's an indication that he was not successful. He blinked. So the reason he did that is he's blocked. He didn't have any other way out. And people are probably talking to him saying, if you don't do this, this is going to happen to the economy. Now, the next thing we have coming up is that Jupiter, right over here, and this is on the 27th, is going to be making a nice connection to the North Node. And what that means is that he's going to get too optimistic. He's going to start making big promises about what we're going to be getting. And this could have to do with the supposed negotiations that are going on with tariffs with other countries. And again, there's no proof that there are negotiations going on. There's no proof that, the United States is doing well in them. Could also have to do with Ukraine. I mean, Trump is trying to push certain things on Ukraine that really, that Russia is actually pushing for Ukraine. So Trump is actually acting as a spokesperson for Russia here. So this means that he's going to be hemmed in, this previous thing. And coming up to 427 with the Jupiter, he's going to be trying to be very optimistic, saying, yes, we are on top of this. We are getting what we want, when that's probably not really true. Now, the next thing, and he's going to be making big promises at that point. Now, what's going to be happening is that Jupiter is going to be opposing his moon. So that's pretty inflationary to him, inside him. So he's going to be trying to make sure that he looks good. He's going to be demanding. He's going to be coming across as life owes him stuff. And in this case, he's going to be sort of saying people owe him. They owe him loyalty. They owe him, to do what he wants. This is probably going to be coming across in the legal efforts with the Supreme Court. Now, there's not going to be ways for him to make happen what he wants to happen. So that's going to be an indication of this. It's going to be this conflict, and that's a type of angle it's making. It's a conflict angle, which means he's not going to be able to get what he wants. He's going to be very undisciplined. So you're going to see that he's angry, and he's going to be striking out. Now, the next thing we have is Jupiter coming up to conjunct the sun. And this is happening right around 5/8. And it's a nice angle. It's going to, again, make him feel good, make him feel optimistic. But then again, when he gets optimistic, we start getting all the big lies. And that's a problem. Now, he could also be too cavalier with his own safety. So that could be a question. Because right at that same time, at 5/8, we have Uranus making a square angle to his Mars. And that's not a great angle. It's also, planets involved are difficult here. difficult in that the first time this happened was when he had the first attempt on his life. Now, with this type of angle, you're usually involved in whatever it is, which is why his first attempt may have been something that he was actually involved in. Because at that time, I noted that he would be making rash decisions. He would be very stressed. He would be destructive. And it would not be beyond reasonable thought to think that he might stage an attempt on his own life. Now, the same thing will be happening. And again, the timing here is around 5/8. But it could be that he puts himself into positions that invite having some type of retribution against him. So that could also be the case. But in a square type, you're usually involved in that. Now, the next thing we have happening is, and this is at around 5/22, so it's near the end of the month, and there are other things happening. It's just that they're not major angles, not major configurations. We have Saturn coming in to make a inconjunct to his ascendant. His ascendant is his physical self. It is who he is. Think of it as his soul. Now, Saturn is very restrictive. What this means is that he's going to be blocked. He's not going to be able to control things. There are forces that are coming in to block him in, to restrict him. Now, it's happening on his Mars, which is his vitality. On his ascendant, which is his force. And you think of it as his energy. It's his being. So this could be an indication of some type of illness, could be an indication of being blocked even by the courts. So it could be that there's some type of contempt, something that comes out from the legal system prior to this. As I noted, there were some Jupiter angles, and that typically could be an involvement of the legal system. Now, the next thing we have coming up is a little bit after that, and it's 7/3. And in this case, what happens is that Uranus moved on from Mars, and it's now making an angle to the ascendant. So again, this is a square angle, usually is something that he would be involved in. And it indicates that there could be some type of accident, could be some type of situation that he is in that could be damaging to his physical body. Now, lastly, what we have is, I'm just going to pop over to this next page here, and this is on a solar arc. And the solar arc is showing a angle, and it's on 7/13, and this is Pluto making a square to Venus. And in this case, Pluto is typically manipulation, either by you or by other people, and Venus is the community around you. In this case, what this is indicating is that, and Pluto can also be, since in this case it is ruling the 4th house, which is the house of endings, it could be an ending of the communities around him. So it could be manipulation by those communities or the people around him. So it could be that he is possibly removed from office at this time. Now, after this, I'm seeing that, there is a few little angles happening around September, but not many after this. So it seems to be we're coming up to this point of everything culminating over this May period and into July. Not so much happening in June. This is why I wanted to cover up into July. So the first chart here, just as a note, I made it for May 8th. And the reason is there's so many things happening at the end of this month and into May that I wanted to touch on all of them. So overall, this is indicating that we're coming to sort of that last sort of point where what's going to happen with Trump? Is he going to be sick? Is he going to be removed from power? And I'll bring in some other charts probably later today or tomorrow and look at this a little bit more detail from other fractions. But the next 2 months are months to watch. Otherwise, thank you for watching and have a great day. Bye now.